and connecting to your practice here and now. As you come to lie down, let your arms drop to your side. And at first, could you keep your knees bent with feet on the floor and keep the knees aligned to the hips? Take a nice deep breath with that. I'm going to put my palms on top of my thigh bones and gently push into my thigh bones with my hands. It'll help to lengthen my upper body long and away from my feet. And then let that go. Let the arms reach up to the sky, if you would, and feel the heaviness in the back of the shoulders coming down into the mat, back of the ribs coming into the mat. Cross one arm over the other, and your arms are giving you a big bear hug. Right hand is reaching to the back of the left shoulder, left hand back of the right. And as you're here, begin to breathe slowly and with intention, breathing into the back of your lungs and ribs, feeling them expand into the mat as you breathe. With your next breath, let those arms release. And just take a moment to drop the arms at the side of you in pose of awareness. And to feel how the back of the head, back of the shoulders and ribs, and the back of the hips come into the mat for you. And as you've been taking these first few moments, has your mind wandered off the mat, or have you been able to stay just on your mat, present in the here and now? The mind is often called the monkey mind in yoga. And just like the little monkeys that you sometimes can see in the zoo, jumping and leaping from place to place, the mind can do that as well. Part of our practice is to keep our mind on the mat, with the focus here, now, on our mat, on our practice today. If you find your mind wanders, simply invite it back to this moment. Let your palms come to your heart, and if you could, take a moment to be in the heart center and to create an intention for your practice within it. And the intention would be phrased as, may I be. Create that intention, create the statement, and repeat it 3 times. And then greeting yourself to your practice. Namaste. Once you finish, let your arms just relax. And if you could, let's start up with the arms and reach those hands and arms up to the ceiling. Feel the backs of the shoulders to the floor, and that's what's going to move. Fingers reach up to the ceiling. Back of the shoulders came away from the floor. And now retract and bring the back of the shoulders to the mat. Reach up and retract. Go with 9 and 8. And the last one, and when the arms come down, or rather the back shoulders come down, change and let the arms open in a T-like shape and come back up over the chest. Inhale to open and exhale to close. And again, it's 9 and 8. Each time the arms come up, think about narrowing at the ribs and waistline. And notice that your hips are staying quiet as you do this. Your rib cage, actually, back of the ribs, stay quiet to the mat. Next time your arms come up, hold them straight up from their shoulders. Let one arm go to the head and one to the hips and switch. And again, as your arms are switching, can you keep your hips and the backs of your shoulders quiet and just let the arms move? And again, it's 9, 8, 7. Next time, take both arms up to the ceiling, and would you gently turn your palms to face your knees and then bend your elbows down, making the goalpost at a football field. And then let your arms and hands go up, down, and up. Each time you pull the elbows down, kiss the shoulder blades together a little bit underneath you on that backside body. And just do 3 of them. And 2. And then that last one, when your elbows come down, keep them here. And could you let your forearms drop back to the floor, a little bit like a letter W? And keeping the back of the arms and the back of the hands on the floor, that's key. Let the arms rise a little bit into a letter Y. And bend them back to the W, and just a small slide to a letter Y. I make the movement small. I'm keeping the back of my ribs and shoulders and head on the floor. And I'm just trying to isolate and move only my arms. W to Y. W to Y. And one last time. When you come into the Y, just linger there a few moments and take a deep breath. Keeping the hands on the floor, just slide them down, more like into a letter T, and then down by your sides in that letter A. Come to the navel, and if you could, just exhale, draw the navel inward, upward towards you, and activate the pelvic floor. Notice how strong you can feel in that midsection of the body. Keeping that active, continue to breathe, lift off one foot, put it down, and then the other. Now, can you keep your hips quiet and your shoulders quiet as you do so? Do one more on each side, and then again, relax a moment, take a breath. As you exhale, draw on the navel, draw it upward towards your heart, activate the pelvic floor. Let's lift off the left foot and the right arm to the ceiling, please. And put them down. Lift up the right foot and the left arm and put them down. Just alternate. And again, we're being mindful and intentional of keeping the hips and the shoulders balanced and neutral on the floor as we alternate, lifting opposite arm and leg. One more on each side. And again, relax the arms down, feet down, take a breath, exhale, navel draws inward, upward, active pelvic floor. Lift off the right knee and extend right leg to ceiling, bend the knee and put it down. Left knee comes up, extend, bend, and lower. Again, as you keep this going, stay focused on keeping the navel drawn in and the pelvic floor active so that your hips stay balanced and neutral on the floor. Your legs are moving from a stable midsection in the body. Gently change. Same thing, take a breath, exhale, navel draws in, draws to the heart, pelvic floor active. Let's bring the right knee into us and just hold here behind the right thigh. Could you let the left leg lengthen and stretch away from you? Were you able to keep the hips and the shoulders even to the floor? Right toes point and flex. And then point the foot and circle. And reverse the circle. And now make a half circle from on the bottom. So it looks a little bit like a smiley face. And then change, do the half circle on the top. So you're creating a dome-like shape. I'll let that be still and change my hands to the tops of the shin bones. Think about drawing your knee towards your chin and your thigh bones onto your ribs or chest. Left leg is lengthening as we breathe. Can you lengthen through the head and neck and roll that up? And really give a nice strong hug here to the body. The focus is still the navel drawing inward, upward to the heart. Knee to chest pose is a strong abdominal contraction. And let that release. I'll have both feet on the floor and just take it slowly. Same thing, inhale, exhale, navel, pelvic floor, active, strong. Left knee comes up, trying to keep the hips neutral, hand behind the left thigh. Could you slide out the right leg, trying to keep hips and ribs and shoulders neutral? Left foot points and flexes. And then point and circle. And reverse. And then half circles on the bottom like a happy face. And then half circles on the top like a dome. And let the foot be still. So another breath, very active and strong, navel drawing inward, upward. I'm going to take my hands on top of my shin, and I'm really hugging my knee towards my chin, my thigh bones towards my chest, lengthen my neck, roll up head, neck, shoulders, and chest. And gently release. Both knees bent, both feet on the floor, same thing. Breath and exhale, navel, inward, upward, active pelvic floor. Let's ease up the two knees, start small. Just let them come towards you. And then I'm going to keep my focus in my abdomen for a moment, right at the navel. Hands could slide underneath the buttock if you need some back support. But if you're able to stay without that, just keep the movement small. Exhale, draw the knees towards your chest. Inhale, release them a small bit. Exhale, pull in the navel to pull in the knees. I'm moving not too big because I want to focus most of all that each time I draw my knees in, I pull in my navel, I pull in my navel, I pull in my navel. Just do one more. As you pull in the knees and you're pulling in with your navel, let your hands come to the shins and start to hug the knees into you. The knees themselves are drawing up towards your chin. Thigh bones are drawing down onto your rib cage. Your abdomen is drawn snug in the Yoga Bandha. Lengthen through the neck, roll up head, neck, shoulders, chest, and hold knee to chest pose. And then as you exhale to release, let the head come down and the feet return to the floor. Let the arms reach by your side. Imagine your fingers stretching towards your feet. Again, navel, pelvic floor, long neck, roll up head, neck, shoulders, and chest with fingers reaching towards the legs. We're beginning into a boat. As you float down, change and let the arms inhale up and just lengthen back behind you for a moment to release. And when you exhale, hands come down by the hips. Here we go. Next exhalation, you activate the navel, pelvic floor, long neck, Roll up head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Could you keep everything still and quiet except lifting off the right foot and extending out that right leg? I want to make this right leg be nice and strong. I'll let the knee bend in and press the right leg out. Bend it in, press it out one more time. And as you hold it out, lengthen, reach, and breathe. And release everything down. Let the arms rise up and float behind you. Exhale, come back down by your side. Same thing, you just recover. Next exhalation is active abdomen, pelvic floor, long neck, roll up head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Fingers are reaching, left knee, left leg out, long and strong. Left knee in and then out. And then hold it out again. And float down. Arms reaching up and back. Exhaling, arms coming back down. Here we go again. I want to be very mindful of how I feel through my back. I'm going to lengthen my arms first and bend my knees to 90 degrees. Draw in the navel. Lift that navel to your heart. Feel the pelvic floor active. Lengthen the neck as you roll up the trunk. Let your hands reach past the legs. Could your legs lengthen forward? Navasana boat. Let both knees come in and both legs stretch out and hold. Small release in, stretch out and hold. Keep the navel drawn in toward your heart, active. Last time, small in. Last time out to hold. And as you release down, let the feet come back to the floor. Inhale the arms up to the sky and behind you. Nice long stretch. And bring the arms down beside you. Just relax here. Pose of awareness, but exhale, navel draws inward, upward, pelvic floor active. Can you maintain that connection of really activating using the Yoga Bandha, otherwise known in today's words, activating your core, and keep it active as you roll your knees to the right, you roll to your right side, and you bring yourself up to hands and knees. And once you come up to hands and knees, we'll start to cat and cow. Inhale, tilting and lifting up the tailbone and breastbone. Exhale, pull that navel in. Again, activating it and activating pelvic floor. Inhale to tilt and lift, and exhale to tuck and round. And then again, each action is a strong connection to the Yoga Bandha, our core. Next time you come center, can you hold just in a nice tabletop? Navel, hold it in, pelvic floor active, reach out the right arm and left leg to balance. I'm going to bring in my right hand, bring in my left knee, and just reach them right back out again. Come back in again, and reach back out again. And then relax in tabletop. Inhale. When you exhale again, hold in the navel, pelvic floor, left arm, right leg in balance. Try to keep the balance, try to keep the active trunk. Everything touches down and then reaches out again, touches down, reaches out again, touches down, reaches out. And again, come back to your tabletop. Draw on the navel, active pelvic floor. Could you lift up left arm, left leg, and balance? And how is that balance? And come in, activate the navel, pelvic floor, right leg, right arm, and balance. Bring them on in. Let's take back the right toes behind us. Toes curl. You want to feel as many of the toes, 5 toes if possible. Active right thigh, right hip, navel, pelvic floor, second leg back to plank. And relax the knees, pull back the hips, and just lengthen. It's a hero's pose with the arms forward. And rising back up again. Left toes go behind us. Can get all 5 on the floor. Navel, pelvic floor, active, active, right leg, plank. Relax the knees, pull back the hips, hero's pose. Inhale to your tabletop, becoming active. Exhaling to your plank, remaining active. Relaxing knees, hips to heels, hero's pose. Inhale, rising up. Active as you exhale, plank. Inhaling to your knees and exhaling back into that hero's pose. Inhale, rising 1. Exhaling, plank 2. Inhaling, knees 3. Exhaling, heroes 4. Inhaling, tabletop 5. Exhaling, plank 6. Knees 7. Heroes 8. And rise to that nice, easy tabletop 9. Let your toes curl under here and lift off knees and shins. Easy as you breathe. Again, connect to that Yoga Bandha. Drop the navel, active pelvic floor, lift the hips, downward dog. Recover to the knees in a hover. Release the knees, hero's pose. Inhale, knees, toes curled and hover. Pull up with the navel, downward dog. Return to the hover. This time lift back up, downward dog. Return to the hover. Drop the navel, exhale, downward dog. To a hover. To downward dog. And the last time to a hover, please. Breathe for a moment here. Could you start to walk? Let your left toes come forward and right hand. Walk left foot, right toes. Right hand, left toes. Left hand, right toes. And relax the knees into a child's pose. So I'm trying to approach these poses from the Yoga Bandha. And if you can, rise back up to hands and knees. And I'm just going to scoop myself back to the back of my mat. So I'm going to have a long space in front of me for my next time through. Hands and knees, hands under shoulders. Think about your shoulder blades drawing down your back body and your neck is long. And let's draw the navel in a little bit, activating there. Activating pelvic floor, toes curl, lift off the knees and the shins, hovered. Drop the navel, downward dog. Let's try to be strong on the right foot and let your left foot, it stays on the floor, but I just have myself on the ball of my left foot and it's my right leg I'm working. Lift the right heel, lower the right heel. Lift the right heel, lower the right heel. Lift that right heel. Lower both feet down, take a breath. Exhale, return to your hover. Reconnect, navel, pelvic floor, long neck. When you're ready, exhale, downward dog. I'm going to be on my left foot. And again, my right toes stay on the floor, but I'm just really light on the ball of the right foot. Left heel lifts. Pull that left heel back and down. Left heel lifts. Beautiful. And it lowers down. Left heel lifts. It lowers both feet down. Downward dog. Take a breath. Ready, set. Here we go to our little hover. Everyone's comfortable. Long neck. Fonda, navel, pelvic floor. Lift to downward dog. Both legs. Heels lift up. Heels pull back down. Heels lift up. Heels draw back and down. Here's my last one. And I'm going to get comfortable and be at ease in my downward dog. And relax all the way down to the knees into a child's pose. We'll totally let that go. Release, relax, and be in the moment. And when you slowly come up, let yourself lie down flat on your mat, and we'll come into a very easy Sphinx. Let your legs go back long behind you. And let your hands come in right underneath your shoulders, palms to the floor, elbows snug to your frame. We'll drop the pubic bone and lift up the breastbone and just easily and gently prop up to those forearms. As we're here, legs lengthen. So take a moment and lengthen back the right leg and then the left. Find the navel, lightly lift that navel into you. So notice your navel's not completely collapsed to the floor, and that will help give you a little more stability in the shoulders. Neck can lengthen. Bless you. Now, keeping the body propped up here, let's flex the right foot and take the right heel towards the buttock and release it. As it lifts towards my hips, I can't go very far, but I do let there be light, easy movement and always respectful of my knees. Last one, let that right leg release, lengthen. Here's my left foot ready to go, flexed, and it bends up and down. Same thing, just really be mindful how you're moving, keeping it comfortable for you. And relax that. Take another breath. Can you feel long through your legs? And again, active navel slightly lifts inward so you feel long and comfortable in your shoulders and neck. When you're ready, lengthen your upper body towards the floor and bring it down. Hands can stack for your forehead and gently let your hips shake out a little bit. I'm going to take it slowly and roll onto one side and bring the knees up towards my chest. And again, before I move, I'm going to draw my navel and activate my pelvic floor and then use my hands to bring me up. Before I move and I'm putting a foot out onto the ground, I'm going to draw my navel Activate the pelvic floor and bring myself up to stand. The mat's all out in front. Let the palms come to the heart. Shoulders are relaxed, and just be at ease and comfortable however you're standing. Mountain pose. Finding balance, toes to heels. Can we gently bend at the knees and straighten? Now I use my hands at my heart to remind me to keep my breastbone lifted. I even let my thumbs be at that breastbone. Can you start to bend the knees and draw back with the tailbone? But again, think about keeping your breastbone lifted. Beautiful. I'm going to come to a chair and hold for a few moments, keeping the breastbone lifted. Staying active with the bandha navel. Pelvic floor, draw up to mountain and hold. Breath and exhale, downward dog. Pardon me, chair pose. Draw on the navel, pelvic floor, draw up to mountain. Navel, pelvic floor, draw back to chair. Navel, pelvic floor, draw up to mountain. Now I kept the hands at the heart to keep my breastbone lifted, but you may or may not need to do so. With your next breath, exhale into chair, Uttanasana. And exhale, float down into a forward bend. Nice deep breath. Let your eyes gaze forward as your hands walk you out into a plank. Exhaling to the knees, drawing back into a child's pose. Rising to hands and knees as you inhale. Exhale, curling the feet to downward dog as you exhale. Inhaling to soft knees. And as you exhale, walk hands to meet feet, folding into that forward bend. And as you inhale, rise back up. And as you exhale, Uttanasana chair. Again, choose how you wish to be in the pose. And as you exhale, float ribs to thighs, straighten the legs, forward bend. Walking out those hands as you gaze forward, coming into a plank. Exhaling to relax the knees and come into a child's pose. Inhaling back up to hands and knees and exhaling as you lift to downward dog. Soft at the knees, walking hands to meet feet into that forward bend again. Inhale, rising tall to mountain. And exhaling one last time, Uttanasana chair. Again, be in the pose that speaks to you. As you exhale, fold down, forward bend. And let your eyes gaze forward as your hands walk you out to come into that plank. Relax the knees, come into a child's pose. Flow right back up to hands and knees, and when you exhale to downward dog. Be strong onto the right foot. Let the left foot lift up. It could lift just 1 inch or 2. It can be a bent knee. It could be a fully lifted straight leg, your choice. And bring down that left foot. We'll stay here for a moment with the breath and then exhale back down to the knees and into a child's pose. Transitioning back up, downward dog. Again, really focusing on a strong and grounded left foot. Right foot could lift just an inch, or you can draw it higher and higher. Knee could bend, leg could straighten. What is your pleasure? Breathe and hold. Both feet come to the mat. Another breath, and we'll come back to our knees and into that child's pose. We didn't break it down, but you know it. As you inhale, rise up to hands and knees. Let the elbows bend beside your ribs, nose to mat. Lower the hips, lift the breastbone to upward dog. Exhale, curl the feet to downward dog. Taking a breath. As you exhale, relax to the knees and into a child's pose again. Again, work with the pose that works for you today. Inhale, rising up to the knees, bending the elbows. They're right beside the ribs, nose to the mat. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, curling the feet to downward dog. And a final time back to the knees in a child's pose. Again, focusing on lengthening as we come up to hands and knees, bending at the elbows, nose to the mat. Inhale, slide forward and up. Exhale, curl the feet, downward dog. Allow those knees to soften just a bit. Let your hands walk back to meet your feet. We'll linger here in a standing forward fold. Imprint your feet as you roll to the sky. Inhaling tall, palms to the heart as we return a final time to Uttanasana, this time to rotate. Lengthen, rotate to the right, breathe and hold. Beautiful. Back to neutral. Rotate, left. And back to neutral center. I'm going to let my ribs fold to meet my thigh bones and come into one more standing forward bend. The head can nod loosely, yes and no. Remember, you can have straighter legs or softer knees. Be in the pose that speaks to you today. Soft knees as you inhale, roll to the sky. We'll let the arms reach up, 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 and gently float down. These last few things we'll do standing just for some flexibility. Left arm's behind the back. Right arm drops down at the side. Lengthen the head and the neck. If you could, just let the eyes look right and the head turn right. And come center, lengthen the neck and go left. Lengthen the neck to go right. Lengthen to go left. Lengthen to go right. And lengthen to go left. And when you come to center, let your right arm be beside you and gently lift that right palm back and release. Inhale, it rises back. and release. Let it rise back. Change and rise front. And release. Let it rise forward. Beautiful. And one last time. And here we go. Let it rise to the right and hold. Lengthen. Look to the left and hold. And bring that center and float down. Right hand comes behind the back. Left arm's at the side. Again, just lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Eyes looking to the left, head going to the left. And we're center, lengthen and look right. And we're center, lengthen going left. And lengthen going right. And lengthen to left. And lengthen to right. And then you come to center, left hand and arm, lift behind us and float down. Lift back behind us and float down. Lift behind us. And as they come down, take it out in front, inhaling up. Inhaling up. Last time, look, arms lift left, just the left arm left. Lengthen the neck, eyes and head right, breathe and hold. And float to center. I'll take both arms out in front of me with knees soft. Inhale, open to the right, arms and trunk. Exhale, close to center. Inhale, open left. Beautiful. And center. Just inhale, opening right. And center and an easy open left. One more in each direction as you go. Beautiful. I'm going to change and let my arms come skyward. Left arm goes forward, right arm goes back, and I rotate right and lift up. Right arm forward, left arm back, rotate, look. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more in each direction. And when you come back to center, just take a nice easy breath and float down and release. I'll let my head fold forward towards my chest. Now I could use my hands on the back of my skull if I wish to give me some support. Please decide on what is going to work best for you. But lengthen the head and neck up. Chin is drawing towards the sky. And the head is folding forward. Lengthen and draw up to the sky. And folding forward. Lengthen to lift up to the sky. And folding forward. Let the head come to neutral. Fingers interlaced and inverted. I'll take up my arms, let the tailbone tilt back, the breastbone tilt up, and the eyes gaze skyward towards the stars. And then straighten and release. Let's do it again. Soft knees, arms up, tailbone, breastbone tilt. And next breath to release. Here's our last one. Interlace, tuck, tilt, lift. And as I release, I'll keep my knees soft and draw on my abdomen as I fold forward and down. Uttanasana is just this standing forward bend. Try to keep the navel drawn in. Feel support from that strong core or strong bandha. And then fingers and hands can be resting somewhere on the path of the feet or the legs or at the thighs. But as you inhale, lengthen the back, gaze forward, letting the breastbone rise slightly as the eyes look on the floor. And as you exhale, draw in. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale to gaze, lengthen through the front body, shoulders away from the ears as the eyes gaze along the mat. Exhale, draw in, forward bend. One last time. When you're ready, inhale, lengthen to look out. Exhale, draw on the navel to look within. Soften at the knees, roll to the sky as you inhale up. One last time, let the fingers interlace and invert. Knees soften, tilt the tailbone and breastbone, gaze to the stars. And as you exhale and you float out, just notice how you're standing on your feet for a moment in mountain pose. And can you find a nice sense of balance, toes to heels? Lengthen the neck. And could you fold left ear to left shoulder and let the left hand come over and give a little support in holding that stretch? And release to center, lengthen, right ear, right shoulder, right hand comes over to support. And then gently come center. I'm going to bring myself to the center of my mat. And again, I am working from that chair, a little bit of a sit or squat. I'll take my right leg and step out. My knee's going to bend. My left leg will straighten just a bit. Inner thigh stretch. I come back to neutral. Left leg goes out. It's the bent. The right leg straight. And I'm center. Here we go. 9 to center. 8 to center. 7. Beautiful. 6. Think of the breastbone rising. 5. 4. 3. 2. Here's my last one. I'll stop center. Sit deeper. Uttanasana. Move ribs to thigh bones and fold forward bend. Bring the weight even onto the feet. Let the head nod loosely, yes and no. Shoulders are relaxed. Are your toes aligned? So just pick one toe to each foot. I'm selecting my big toes, and it's a straight line across to the 2 big toes. Knees soft, rolled up. Inhale, arms skyward. Exhale, lighten to a chair, going to the left. 1, center. 2, center. 3, beautiful. 4, 5, 6. Last one. Holding your chair to forward bend, to comfortable legs. Soft knees, drawing in the navel, rolling to the sky. Last time, chair to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last one, chair. And fold. Find balance, toes and heels, shoulders relaxed. Knees are soft. Roll to the sky. At the top, a deep breath. Palms to heart. Split out the feet. How wide you go should be your comfort zone. The wider the feet, the easier the forward bend. If you can, the feet would slightly either be parallel or slightly inward. Hands to the thighs to help us in support as we lengthen and fold, letting the hands come to the floor. Now, if you could take a little wider space with the feet now, please do so. Again, just imagine that, say, the top of your big toe is a straight line over right foot to left foot. I'll let my knees soften and straighten and soften a bit and straighten a bit and soften, straighten. What will help you feel you're most comfortable in a standing forward fold? Knees soft or legs straight. Lengthen your torso long. Let your fingers maybe walk forward a little bit as if they were walking to the wall ahead of you in a long stretch. Hands can walk back. Imagine you were threading a needle and those fingers are walking to the wall behind you. Turn your fingers back there as you try to get to that wall and come neutral and center. Please find a way to be at ease in the pose. It can be with palms on the floor. It could be working with a block. Maybe it's more comfortable for your hands to be on blocks. Maybe you could put your crown of the head on a block. Make it work for you as you hold and breathe. Feel the outside edges of your feet. Feel the outside edges of your legs and thighs. Feel the outer hips. And breathe up through the arches of the feet, breathing up through the inner ankle, inner leg, inner thigh. Now I'm going to take my block with me for support. Walk hand over hand to the right, pivot and turn the feet to the right, and just be in an easy runner's lunge for a few moments. Imprint the right foot, lengthen that left leg. Make certain that whatever is going on, you're able to stay long in your trunk. And again, the navel stays in towards the heart, pelvic floor is active. I'm going to walk myself through neutral center and over to my left, again, pivoting the feet, coming into that runner's lunge, again, finding a way to be at ease, keeping the navel in, the pelvic floor active, the pelvis is holding on tops of the thigh bones, not sinking. I'll stay to this side and recover down to my knees. Come back into a child's pose for a moment, just to release and let go. And then ease back up, hands and knees. Right foot will go forward between the palms. Please make it comfortable for you. You could start in that runner's lunge with the left toes curled behind us, but then we'll lower that left knee, easy on the shin and foot. Again, working with the bandha as the hands come to the right thigh bone, navel draws inward, upward, pelvic floor lifts. Can you tilt back the tailbone, bring up the breastbone? Could the arms rise up? And again, there's a sense of lifting. You're not heavy onto your hips or thighs, you're lifting. As you float out, change. Left foot's forward between the hands, right toes curl behind us. So we take that lunge first. Everyone has space. And then we'll lower the back knee and the shin. Hands to the thigh. 1, draw on the navel. Lift up the navel and pelvic floor, tailbones tilting, breastbones rising. Could the arms rise as well? Again, a sense of being suspended off the joints of the hips, off that connection to the thigh bone, rather rising skyward. And as you exhale and you float out and down, let's let that go. But when you come down to the floor to lie down, have a strap with you. And we'll get comfortable first. Knees bent, feet on the floor, but straps with an easy access. Take a moment to lengthen the head and the neck. Feel the shoulders melting down away from the ears. The arms are long. The trunk is at ease. Strapping up the right foot, let it go to the sky. And let this be a pose now where you're really just starting to come into a quiet place for yourself. Feel the connection of the back of the head, shoulders and ribs to the mat, and that the back of the pelvis is part of that. It's an easy stretch through the right leg. If you wish, left leg could stretch out. Please focus on taking 3 slow, deep breaths. And with each exhalation, a sense of releasing and letting go. The next breath, release. Let both legs stretch out. Shake out. And then if you could, bend the knees and you'll strap the left foot and left leg to sky. And again, take your time in feeling the back head, back shoulders, ribs, and hips to the mat. And a sense of balance, right side to left side. Hold the straps with ease. And if you wish, let that right leg lengthen away from you. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, this time focusing on the inhalation, drawing into you that which supports your highest good. And with your next breath, gently let that release. And let your legs stretch out long. Your arms be at rest at your side. And as you relax and let go for a moment, allow your breathing to be easy and natural. An easy exchange, inhaling, drawing to you that which supports your highest good. Exhaling and releasing anything that would not. With your next breath, let the palms come to your heart. And take a moment simply to be in your heart center. Beholding the essence of yourself, honoring and greeting yourself in gratitude today. Namaste. I thank you for joining this morning. I wish you a beautiful Sunday. And I thank you all for being here.